So everybody wanna know how was the private session. Can tell anything about it?
Yeah, I think they called it a secret session. Well, no, it was fun, right? Everybody is in the back room. Senators are able to ask questions. You know, there's a bit of back and forth. It's not as formal, but it probably would help without violating the confidentiality of names and of players and referees. It sort of explain exactly what I showed. It is true. I did go through the good game reports on match manipulation. There's something called a match fix level 3 report. This is the full 180-page report. It's court admissible. This company, it's much more than the ref evaluation reports that I put on my website. And it's a methodology. I'll talk about that in a minute. I showed actual videos and audio recordings of what goes on in the VAR booth in some controversial games. I showed very clearly for all to see that there has been a manipulation of VAR imagery in the VAR booth, where a VAR official was, I think it's clear, trying to deceive the match referee and get to a desired outcome. And it happens by maybe doing freeze frames with the ball on a player's foot to establish possession. It may be intentionally not showing a camera angle that was freely available to the VAR official that would have shown very clearly what happened. It was pulling back the camera, using the camera angle that's far away at particular parts of a move, so you really couldn't see what was happening when in fact you had a close-up. And there's a fair amount of real vocal arguing and selling, almost, you know, bullying a match referee to say, hey, we've already got this proven, you need to look at this. So that was very eye-opening for the senators. And while I came in there with these match manipulation reports that really show how a game can be manipulated by player behavior, those reports don't show manipulation by referees, because you can't look into the brain of a referee and say, why did he choose black versus white? Why did he say red card versus yellow card? Whereas, you know, the technology looks at, you know, players slowing down, intentionally not intercepting a ball, changing their angle of attack so as not to reach a striker with the ball who's about to score. But the referee thing is much more of a riddle. You know, why did this VAR official work so hard to get that red card, you know, sold to the match referee? Why did a match referee blow his whistle so quickly as a goal went in, not allowing either VAR review or, you know, public viewer review? You know, if you have all the time in the world, you know, in Brazil, especially with a lot of injury time, you know, why did that have to be so rushed? It was a goal scoring play. So we went through the match fix reports. We went through combinations of people. When they work together, they have a higher rate of error. We compared these errors to the laws of the game, because I think it's really wrong to say these are referee mistakes, because words like dogzo, denial of goal scoring opportunity, are in the laws of the game document maybe 6 times. And so they're very clear sections that you cannot send a player off without the possibility of playing the ball. And so how did Adrielson get sent off? So we went through all this, and I think that I went in there trying to sort of establish clearly that Sao Paulo Palmeiras was fixed, manipulated, and I got much better than that. I get them to dive into these other situations where it's more of a gray area, where when you add things up, you have to assume that this is probably not incompetence or human error. This is probably something worse. So they came out of that meeting, you know, ready to go. You know, the head of that panel said he was disturbed. It was the greatest, greatest scandal in Brazilian history. So I felt pretty good that they let me show the evidence. They need to see a lot more. We put it in the Dropbox since that meeting. They've got a lot to review. I think we're going to have to help them review it, because it's pretty complicated, the math of it, all of it. But yeah, I felt great about the private session.